It's easy to see our next guest is spry, but it also may be she works as a spy. She's dear, sweet, lovable, old Aunt Blabby.
Thank you, dear.
It's so nice to see you again.
Do you mind backing off a step or two? That muscatel breath is melting my corset stays. Fogs up the glasses a little bit.
I must say, Aunt Blabby, that you look terrific for a woman of your age.
Of course you must say that. Otherwise, you'd be on Merv Griffin. You better tell me I look good.
You look
How
good.
are you?
I'm fine. I don't mean to be personal, but just how old are you?
Well, I don't want to tell you how old I am, but all I can tell you is Millard Fillmore was a lousy lover. Remember him?
Oh, I do remember him,
Well, nobody else does, obviously.
You sure are full of bounce. What do you attribute that to?
What's that?
You're full of bounce. What do you attribute that to?
Rubber pantyhose. Keeps the sap in, gives me a little lift.
You sure are full of the old joie de vivre.
Is that French for bloat? Look, I decided to do something worthwhile with my life.
What's that?
I volunteered for an important job.
That's marvelous. What kind of a job is
Well,
it?
I can't tell you. It's hush-hush.
Oh.
All I can tell you that it involves the government.
Our government?
Yes, our government. Not Ronald Reagan's. Ours, our government. You dummy.
Blabby, you've piqued my curiosity.
Well, that's the only thing I've peeked in a lot of years. I don't peek as often as I used to.
I see. Can't you give us a hint of what your government job is? Just
Well,
a hint.
all I can tell you is I wasn't hired to teach President Ford to walk. You see, I'm sworn to secrecy. I don't want this to get out.
Wait a minute. They swore you. Who are they?
They are those who don't want us to know about them because they don't want to make it too easy for Woodward and Bernstein. They wrote the book, The Final Days, and All the President's Men.
Also a motion picture.
Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. You probably heard about them.
Can you tell us the name of the government organization that you work for?
No, I'm sworn to secrecy, but I can give you the initials.
What are they?
CIA.
You work for the CIA?
Well, so much for secrecy. That's that. Believe it or not, I've gone to work as a spy for the CIA. Well, they don't know Woodward and Bernstein either. How would they know the CIA? Could be the COA, CPI, who cares? But I did. I want you to believe me. Believe me for the sake of this sketch, if nothing else.
I believe it. What in the world made you join the CIA?
Seemed like a good way to meet Frank Sinatra. I wanted to do something for my country. I owe the country a lot. It's been good to me. I'm patriotic. Red, white, and blue is a part of me.
Of course, you're referring to the flag.
No, my varicose veins. There's no more thrilling sight in this world than to see them unfurled.
Is the CIA going to use you?
I hope so. I could use a little using, yes. In the worst way they could use me.
What makes you
Been
think...
so lonely since the mister died.
Oh.
Went in the summer of 38, just
I remember.
like that.
You told me how he went.
Hard as a carpet.
Yeah. What makes you think you'll make a good spy?
Well, I can't understand it when you're giggling.
What makes you think that you will make a good spy?
Because I'll sleep with anyone to get information. I'd make a great spy.
What makes the CIA think that they can use senior citizens like yourself for spy work?
Well, I wouldn't want this to get out, but the communists have infiltrated the Gray Panthers.
Oh, that's
Yes.
incredible. What would the communists want with senior citizens?
Well, they want us to agitate and protest and fight the government for food and rent and decent jobs.
Well, that's communism.
No, that's capitalism. Communism is when you get it.
It's hard.
2, 3, 4.
It's just hard for me to believe. Why would the CIA want you as an agent?
Communists are infiltrating the old people. My doctor is a communist.
What, your doctor's a communist?
Very good reading. Yes. Very excellent reading. You really set him up. Give me that again.
What, your doctor is a communist?
That's good. Yes. Real good. Yes, my doctor, he looked down my throat the other day and he said, better red than dead. I knew he was a communist when he said that. Your straight line got more than the joke.
How do you combat red propaganda among old folks?
Well, tonight I'm gonna foment unrest and cause rioting in the streets.
How will you do this?
Take off my clothes in a topless bar.
Now, is it necessary for you to go underground?
Never say underground to an old lady. Bad choice of words.
Do they call you Aunt Blabby in the service, or do you have a code
I
name?
have a code name.
Oh.
My code name is Prune Leader. You know, you've heard those war movies. Calling Prune Leader.
Yes,
Prune Leader.
Perhaps we shouldn't discuss your alias.
No, we'll leave that to my proctologist. Let him worry about me. Oh, my alias. Oh, yes.
Do you have a disguise?
I don't need a disguise. I just rearrange my wrinkles, you know, move them around a little.
Well, have you had any experience at all spying on people?
Yes, I used to be a chambermaid at the Holiday Inns.
Well, you know, everybody hears stories about spies, secret
Yeah.
agents being shot to death, stabbed to death, poisoned to death. What made you do it?
It's a living. Besides,
like that myself.
I did too. Because the head of the CIA is new, you know, is George Bush.
Yes.
I'm behind him all the way. I've done my best work behind a bush. George Bush.
What are the advantages of having big stars like Mr. Sinatra as a CIA agent?
Well, for one thing, if Frank were ever captured, the Russians would never get any information out of him under
Really?
interrogation.
Why not?
He never gives interviews.
Could you give us an example of what you do? But you were going there for a minute.
I thought the pacemaker went on me for a second.
Could you give us an example of what you do for the CIA?
Yes, I went to a party at the Russian embassy with a tape recorder in my brassiere.
You had a tape recorder in your brassiere?
Yes.
What did you get?
Mostly small talk. They buy that, but they don't buy Woodward and Bernstein. Every once in a while, you know, you'd latch on to some juicy tidbits about missiles or planes or military information.
Oh, and that's the kind of information that you would pass on.
Don't say pass on to an old person.
Do you carry a weapon in your CIA work?
No, but in case I'm caught, I carry a poison suppository. Yes, I do.
A poison suppository.
They're delicious, by the way. Did you know that?
What techniques do you use to get your information?
Well, senior citizens are easy to spy on, you see. An older guy will tell you anything if you give him the right kind of sponge bath.
Have you ever been surprised in some undercover act?
Never surprised, bored many times.
Aunt Blabby, what
This
are
is
the...
long, isn't it?
You've been here a long time.
Whoa.
What are the risks in being a spy?
What?
What are the risks?
I'm making it long, aren't I? I'm making this longer than it should be by repeating. Risks, yes.
I want the risks to be
betcha
good.
there are risks. A lot of dangers.
What are they?
Well, can you mind if I sit down? This takes any longer? Once I walked into a place, they grabbed me, threw me on a torture rack, stretched my entire body.
Did you talk?
I said, keep going. You're getting the wrinkles out.
And what else happened?
Well, they lashed me with a bullwhip, stomped on me with their boots.
Well, where did this happen? In Russia or China?
No, that was at a Hollywood slave auction. I'm going again next week.
Have you ever bugged anyone?
I used to bug my fourth husband. He just wanted to sleep all the time. But I bugged him a lot.
What are you working on now? Besides staying awake.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to find the spy who sold the formula for Preparation H to the Russians. It's bad enough when they shrink our wheat. But, you know, we don't need the rest of that.
Are you...
Well,
Are you on a secret assignment right now?
I have to leave right now.
What is it?
Well, I have to leave to follow Ronald. It gets so difficult when you get older. I have to follow...